All right, 49er fans, let's jump into the latest 49ers news and rumors. And we start with something that is honestly pretty interesting. That has to do regarding Justin Fields and a medical diagnosis. Now, it's going to take a couple of tweets to explain exactly what is going on. In the end, it looks like it's going to be okay, I guess. So here's Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport from the network, just dropped this yesterday. Quote, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields has confirmed to NFL teams during the pre-draft process he is managing epilepsy, a neurological disorder that can cause seizures, per me and Tom Pelissero. It has not affected football, and doctors believe he'll outgrow it, as his other family members have. End quote there. Again, that comes from Ian Rappaport just yesterday, a new diagnosis that presumably teams already knew, but it's new to us here in the media and obviously for you guys, the fans, as well. Again, the main point here, doctors do not think it's going to go ahead and affect him. It's not a major case of epilepsy. People have different, cases in terms of how it works out. His family members, when they got into the 20s, because apparently it's gone down through his family, have eventually grown out of it. And again, the point here is that it's not affecting him on the field. And so the hope is that Justin Fields should go ahead and be good to go. Again, this to me doesn't seem like a big deal at all. However, there are NFL teams that get a little bit spooky when it comes to injury. And this is an injury, but or medical conditions, let's just say that. And so the question I have now is, will this affect his draft stock? It's a rough time to go ahead and come out, although I would argue that Fields has probably been fourth and upright with a lot of teams he's met with, including the 49ers, about this minor case of epilepsy. Again, as assured everybody, doctors have cleared him to be fine to play football. But I do wonder if is on the edge between drafting a guy like Trey Lance, Mac Jones, or Justin Fields, if they would steer away from Justin Fields just in case in terms of this diagnosis. I don't think that seems to be a big deal. I would still take Justin Fields number 3 overall, but it is important to know. Let me ask you guys this. Do you have any concerns with Justin Fields at all right now? Maybe not even from a medical standpoint, just an on-the-field standpoint. If you do, why down below for yes? If you do not, then it would be N down below for no. All right, this leads me into the other story, which kind of ties in with the story on Justin Fields, and that is the Athletic's Michael Lombardi's guarantee about Justin Fields. This is very interesting. Michael Lombardi, who is very well plugged in and a very well-established NFL reporter, literally came out and guaranteed San Francisco will not be taking Justin Fields at number 3. Based on, I guess, reporting and people he's talked to, it's kind of crazy he would guarantee this, but a list of people that are very confident it will be Mac Jones or Trey Lance as the 3rd overall. Now, listen, everybody's been rumored there, but apparently, if you listen to Michael Lombardi, go ahead and take Justin Fields off the running. Let's take a look at the quote right now. This is when he was on SiriusXM just yesterday, a couple days ago. Quote, Justin Fields is not going to go number 3. That's what I've heard. I love the people on Twitter who are like weathermen. Seriously, where are you getting your information? You got better sources? Good luck. I'm just telling you, if it's not Mac Jones, it is Trey Lance, end quote. Again, Michael Lombardi from The Athletic via SiriusXM a couple of days ago. Sure, Michael? Are you positive, Michael? I'm not saying I have better sources than Michael Lombardi. Guess what? I don't. But just conventional wisdom here says, are they really going to take Trey Lance, Mac Jones over Justin Fields? I don't believe so. However, I have said many, many times, very plugged-in insiders like Lombardi, like Adam Schefter, are very, 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 very sure the Niners are not going to take Justin Fields, which has me concerned because I like Justin Fields. You guys know that. However, again, I just report what people say. I report the news here. I don't have any sort of inside information whether the 49ers like one guy or the other. We can talk about here in a couple of minutes how it seems like the Niners are unsure, but I just don't understand how you can put on the film of all 3 of these body of work, just an overall NFL quarterback resume from college, and like Trey Lance or Mac Jones over Justin Fields. As we say here on the 49ers Report, in Shanahan we trust, right? We trust Kyle Shanahan. He will make the right decision regardless of who it is. Me at number 4 or 3 overall, I feel confident in it, even though I'm not confident in myself. We in him, but a guarantee by Michael Lombardi, one that is that strong, is very, very interesting and needs to be at least addressed here as we talk about on the 49ers Report. Okay, if we're going to keep going, the draft, we are literally a week away. Literally a week away upon filming this. So make sure you guys are subscribed for nonstop coverage over the next 7 days as happen, and we'll cover it here, as well as, of course, live coverage during the draft, and then plenty of action after the draft, as well. Have a lot to go on in terms of recapping everything the San Francisco 49ers are going to go ahead and do. So make sure you guys are subscribed and turn the notification bell on. Well, okay, I mentioned that the 49ers are still undecided, and that comes via ESPN and Dan Graziano just yesterday on Get Up, who are very, very confident sources he has talked to. The Niners still have not decided on who to take at number 3 overall. So he says He's guaranteeing it's not Justin Fields. Dan Graziano and even Rich Eisen are saying that's not necessarily true. They're still unsure. Although Eisen came out and said on his show, he's hearing, again, we all hear stuff, right? It's ridiculous, that Trey and be the pick. Whoever it is will have to live up to the fact they gave up 3 first-round draft picks to do so. But interesting, the fact that Graziano, at least, is saying the 49ers are still unsure what to do at number 3. Here is the quote, and Graziano is plugged in. I like him as a reporter. He says this, quote, "But I've been told again, as recently as 48 hours ago, that no final decision has been made. There's a lot that points, and I know everyone likes Justin Fields. 2, there's a lot that points to Trey Lance as a guy that could be the 49ers pick that fits what they want to do in terms of experience under center and play action and all kinds of stuff you like to see in Kyle Shanahan's offense." End quote. We go over now to the Rich Eisen quotes. This would back up the idea it could be Trey Lance. Eisen said this on his podcast, quote, "Hearing it's Trey Lance, that's what I'm hearing now. I'm hearing the kid is supremely talented physically and neck up smart and also really wants to learn," and okay, before I go to give you my thoughts, I'll just leave it up to you guys, right? Pick one of the 3. And we have no idea which one of the 3 it's going to be. Although if you listen to Rich Eisen and, of course, Dan Graziano, maybe L down below for Trey Lance. I will still hold my judgment and say it's Fields. But when you start hearing all these experts say it's not going to be Justin Fields, I'm a little bit, subconscious of my decision, even though I like the idea of taking Justin. My big question is, and again, predict the pick down below right now in the comment section, Jay. I just can't believe that the 49ers don't know the pick, right? Like, they have to know who they're taking, right? They absolutely have to know who they're taking because we're a week away. I mean, I guess they don't, right? I'd be very, very surprised if they are still going to meetings and are asking each other, well, do you want this guy? Do you want that guy? Do you want Fields? Do you want Lance? They have to have come to an overall consensus on who to take, at least in my opinion. But now, if it's still smoke and mirrors, they're still trying to maybe, trick some people behind them, which is kind of weird at this point because they're going to stay at 3. I don't know. But they've got to know who they want. And maybe it is Trey Lance, right? We went from it being for sure Justin Fields to it being for sure Mac Jones to being for sure Justin Fields to now being it's for sure Trey Lance. So honestly, I have no idea. And we'll wait again a week from tonight to go ahead and figure out who they take at number 3 overall. Now, when we get to the NFL draft, whoever they take at 3 overall, and again, most of these quarterbacks should be in Cleveland to be attending it. When they get selected by the Niners, they will go ahead and wear this draft hat. This is the official San Francisco 49ers draft hat from X, and you can pick it up right now at chatsports.com/49draft. You can wear the one that the players are going to go ahead and wear on draft night. You get the snapback right here. You got the trucker hat. Well, again, depending on what size your head is, right? Whatever fits better on your head. You got that one right there, and a bunch of different sizes. And, of course, the main style logo is a lot better looking, and to me looks fantastic compared to what they did even just a couple of years ago. I don't know who designs these things, but they're very hit or miss. This year, I think they did a pretty darn good job. Link will be down below in the description box. Chatsports.com/49draft is the place to go ahead and pick one up as they are available and hotcakes, especially as we get closer and closer to the start of the official NFL draft. All right, go ahead and dive now and kind of switch gears over to the latest what I call mega mock draft. So Mel Kiper and Kiper-McShay, normally again in terms of like what they're going to do with mock drafts, have teamed up and joined forces. I mean, this is like the dark and the light coming together to go ahead and give you a 3-round alternating mock draft, and it's very interesting, right? So first off, quickly, Lawrence went 1, Wilson went 2, so the 49ers at number 3 went ahead and took Justin Fields. So, as we talk about, I like Justin Fields. You like Justin Fields. Other people like Trey Lance and Mac Jones. In the latest Kiper and McShay mega mock draft, he has the first-round pick being Justin Fields, the quarterback out of Georgia, which, again, is the pick that I would do. It's the pick that, to me, makes the most sense, and I think that has been building on at least the pro day from a couple of weeks ago into becoming a very big reality. However, there is a lot of doubt on that pick, and that's where the first pick really in the draft that everyone has no idea what they're going to do because we expect Lawrence 1 and then Justin Fields to go ahead and go 2. Whenever they do draft a quarterback, because they will draft a quarterback, you got to figure out that depth chart because they have like 8 billion quarterbacks on that roster. I'm surprised my name's not on there. Look at all these quarterbacks. Garoppolo, probably Fields. You got Rosen, then you got Nate Sudfeld, then Johnson. I mean, goodness gracious, some of these guys are going to get cut, and it's not going to be Nate Sudfeld because they gave him a pretty decent amount of guaranteed money. So who knows what it'll be, but that will be your quarterback depth chart if and when they go ahead and draft a guy like Justin Fields. Okay, again, Mel Kiper, Kiper-McShay, mega mock draft. They have Fields as the first pick for the 49ers in round 1. Let's move over here to round 2, as of course the Niners have number 4 overall. Here were the previous picks before number 43, according to Kiper and McShay. Atwell, the wide receiver from Louisville, was gone. Hunter Long, Asante Samuel Jr., big bummer. Denver, De'Ami Brown, very high. I'm surprised he went that high. And then Ronnie, the edge rusher out of Oklahoma, who I think a lot of people would love to be in San Francisco. That leaves us with the second-round draft pick of Tyson Campbell. He has the number 2 pick for the 49ers in round 2 out of UGA, the cornerback who is extremely tall, 6'2", $185, has like the longest arms you would ever see, and is what is widely considered a press man bump and run corner who can make a lot of great plays with, of course, his length and athleticism. The hope here is Jalen Ramsey. Not sure if he's going to turn out to be that good, but even though they went out and signed some cornerbacks back to the roster, as you see on their depth chart right now, there is plenty of room to go ahead and grab another cornerback, especially if Mosley or Barrett were to, 1, get injured, or 2, not live up to their 2-year deal. Even if Mosley and Barrett do play well, you got to have somebody once they move on to another team, which is very possible based on the short contracts. And so Campbell, to me, makes a ton of sense. I do very much enjoy this pick right now by the Kiper-McShay joint mock draft. Let's go to round 3 right now, as they did a full 3-round thing. And here's a name you haven't probably heard a lot about, haven't talked a lot about him, but they go with the defensive tackle, Nixon, as he is, of course, the guy out of Iowa who is a big hole in the middle. I mean, he plugs massive holes in the middle. He's absolutely fantastic from a run blocking process here. Is we're not exactly sure how good Javon Kinlaw will be, I guess, even though I think he'll be really good. And so here can potentially be someone to stuff in there next to Javon Kinlaw, give Eric Armstead a spell, and stop the run whenever you need to, hopefully in a playoff game. McShay's thoughts here on the Nixon pick, because again, most people don't understand the Nixon pick, or at least don't know who Nixon is. McShay says, quote, "The Niners had one of the NFL's best run defenses last season. They drafted Javon Kinlaw in the first round last April. So let's go back to the D tackle to give him a partner on the inside and keep the run D a strength. Nixon is very destructive, fit as a 3 technique in the San Francisco 4-3, end quote." There's your thought process and update on a guy like Nixon. All right, back to the mock here. Again, you go back to the picks: Justin Fields, Tyson Campbell, and then Davion Nixon. How do you feel about this? Scale of 1 to 10. Is it 0 to 100, right? 100 means they aced this. It's perfect. 0 meaning it was terrible. I don't think it's that bad. A lot of the wide receivers you wanted in round 2 are basically gone, with De'Ami Brown going that early, Tutu Atwell going early as well. I would give this like a 92. I'm not sure they need a D tackle, but I understand the deep tackle pick. I like the cornerback in round 2. I think it makes a lot of sense. So go ahead and give your grade to the Mel Kiper mock draft down below right now in the comment section. All right, final bit of news and rumors here on a jam-packed 49ers live Q&A, which we'll get to coming up in just a bit. Right now, there is an article out by Gary Davenport on Bleacher talking about the signing Steven Nelson to potentially be another corner option for the 49ers. And, of course, we talk about the cornerback spot a lot here, but Nelson, interesting addition they could potentially have. Here's Davenport's quote, "Admittedly, didn't have a great 2020 campaign. We'll go back a little further, and those 2020 struggles look like an aberration. Nelson is at least an above-average cornerback of his career. There are plenty of teams that could use a player like him, and the San Francisco 49ers are at the top of the list," end quote. I don't know if the Niners absolutely need another cornerback. I'm not saying the Niners are at the top of the list of teams that got to go out and get a free agent cornerback, but I wouldn't hate the addition of a guy like Nelson. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it. I just think San Francisco would probably go ahead and fill up the depth chart in terms of the cornerback by getting draft, like you just saw in the Mel Kiper Tom McShay joint mock draft. And so I'm not against it. Very expensive because he didn't have a very good year with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, and he would add on the outside, which again is not that great. Let go of a guy like Richard Sherman, and but I just don't know if they're going to need to do this because they can, of course, do the very, very heavy cornerback draft well and get somebody in the 3rd or 4th round, the 2nd round, as you saw in the mock draft with Tyson Campbell, and it would be a younger with a higher ceiling than a guy like Steven Nelson. Again, a good career, 4 interceptions, completion percentage, not anything to write home about, but still a very good player that has been linked to the San Francisco 49ers. And obviously, if they sign him, we will have you guys covered here, and of course, breaking it all down on the channel. Get your votes in here. Should the 49ers sign Nelson, the cornerback from Pittsburgh, who is still, surprisingly, a free agent? Type S down below for sign, or type P down below for pass. I want to hear what you guys think down below in the protection right now.